What is up, YouTube? I am Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. This is my weekly comic book review show. It is, what is this? June. It's June. We're in June. This year seems like it's going by so much more quickly than 2020. I don't know why. No reason, probably. Anyways, it's June 2nd when I'm recording this. This is my stack of weekly comic books I picked up. And if you're new here, welcome. I think one or two of you maybe might watch this video after I reviewed Mark Bell's. It doesn't matter. Welcome to my channel. I go from worst to best. I go through the comics I picked up every week. I'll let you know what I thought about them. So, yeah, you should watch. And let me know in the comments down below if you agree, or if I missed things, or you think I'm a horrible human being and, should rot in hell. Or if you're a robot that just wants to leave me a timestamp so I can go check out some porn on the internet. I don't know. There's a lot of that too. Yeah, I just moved my mic over. Hopefully that helps. I keep forgetting to do that. And I'm going to shut my email off so it doesn't keep beeping at me. I'm a pro, people. I am a pro. And I should edit this out because I'm a pro, but that's editing, and that's worst to best. Comics. Let's do this. North Force number 0. I don't know why this exists. I mean, other than that Eric Larson wanted to maybe make a Canadian superhero team. I don't even know why I got it. I put it on my pull list a while back, and I don't know why. It's probably one of those, like, oh, a bunch of new heroes. I should spec that. It's like crappy Alpha Flight with Savage Dragon. If other, like, indie hero books had not come out, like Radiant Black and the Blue Flame and stuff, maybe this would have potential, and it'd probably actually be a better book, I think, if there's no Savage Dragon in it, and it wasn't tied to that property, but it is, and it's just nothing special. All right, speaking of things that'd be better if other books did not exist, we got a couple of them. The Worst Dudes, number 1, by Aubrey Sitterson and Tony Gregory. Somebody kidnaps somebody, and somebody has to go find somebody, and then there's a big purple lion with giant balls. I don't know. It's supposed to be an absurd space romp, and like lots of swearing, lots of apparently the worst dudes ever, and grotesque humor and stuff. But it's not. It's kind of like the averagest dudes ever in space nowadays. Like, there's other books that are doing this a lot better. Like Scumbag and Space Bastards are two that I can think of that are just kind of taking the whole absurd over the top thing and doing it better than this. It's kind of Lobo light. I don't know, or maybe Lobo under the DC label is how it sort of seems to fit. It's not that the plot's the same, not that any of that's the same. It's just, I don't know. It's not. Okay, it says, this book contains odious language, wanton drug use, willful violence, unabashed lechery, and generally loathsome behavior. And it's still kind of boring. Let's see here. Yeah, this is about right. Out of Body, number 1. I love the cover. And it's a competent book. This is where we've passed into the it's fine section of things now, folks. And so the next couple of these books are going to be like, yeah, it's fine. And this is fine. It's Peter Milligan. He knows how to craft a tale. And he spins these strange yarns that are just kind of like a little bit thick atmospherically. And, he does what he wants. And he knows how to craft it so, like, tell stories that, like, continue from issue to issue. And build up the strangeness and stuff. It's just kind of... There's not enough in this one that I'm going to keep reading it this way. I might pick it up as a trade later when it's collected, but I got so many books on my list that you really have to stand out. And like the premise is interesting. It's like a man in near coma or in a coma is trying to figure out who killed him, and there's other forces at play. Not to spoil a whole lot, but it's an interesting premise. And it's not even that it's executed that poorly. It's just executed in a very Peter Milligan style. So if you're really into Peter Milligan, you're probably going to like this. If not, you're probably going to be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. And I like Peter Milligan, but it's fine. All right. Yeah. Batman number 109. The art is great. Jorge Jimenez is on the top of his game doing detailed art and crazy stuff like that. And it's a slow burn of a book. And that's my issue. Like, certain books and stuff you can have a slow burn with, and certain things work. But like when you're talking superhero comics, and they don't all have to follow a formula. That's not what I'm saying. But like they just have to have action and adventure and over the topiness, and like Tynan doesn't seem to get any of that when it comes to superhero work. I like his other stuff. You'll see later in the list, but like this is fine, but it's just gotta get somewhere. It kind of reminds me of the Nick Spencer run on Spider-Man that I stopped a while back. It's just like I wasn't getting anywhere, and like there's new characters introduced like every damn week or every damn month in this book, and there's a backup story by the Ghostmaker, which is a character Tynan introduced, and it's all right. All it is like a dude that wants to one up Batman. Okay, there's a good motivation for a character, and there's these. I don't know, it's just nothing's really going on in this. Like, there's just nothing, like, and even when stuff does go on, it's not, like, ballsy enough. It's just kind of, he pussyfoots around these ideas. Like, oh, Alfred's dead, so, like, we're going to take away some of Batman's money. Well, a little bit of it. So he can do some stuff. It's just not quite as crazy as it used to be. But it's still kind of crazy. And it's still, average human couldn't do it. But it's just not as much. And, like, there's these characters, like, Anarchist. That's kind of anarchist. Like, but, sort of just wants to save the city, but doesn't want rules. Yeah. A killer that kind of hates terrorists, but gets talked out of it. And a guy that kind of wants to one-up Batman. It's just... Be braver with your writing and actually do something with this book. And then I'll like it more. All right, Nocterra number 4. Scott Snyder, Tony Daniels. The art's okay. It slipped a little bit in this issue, I think. Not badly, but it's just Tony Daniels. I think needs time to work on his art. And I think he's getting to the point now where, like, the book is catching up to his schedule, and it's sort of slipping a little bit. And the story, for what it is not bad. It just kind of really reminds me of, like, Waterworld or Mad Max. Or, they're like, everyone's on the run, trying to get ahead of something and save something and save something. The twist is that there's creatures in the dark and light might save it, and they're all going to try and bring back the light. And that's a spin on it, but it's a spin on an old story, and it needs to start going somewhere in interesting new directions, or it's going to lose me. And I know I might be the minority in this. It's just kind of, I don't know. That's how I feel. You don't have to agree. It's all good. You really don't. Heroes Reborn number 5. Again, nothing's happening in this that's going to stick. These are all one-shots written by Jason Aaron and with different art every month, and it's a different member of the Suicide Squad in a world where there was no Captain America found, except there's a B story. And even in this book, there's really not a B story. They didn't even address it at all. That's how little they care about, like, the reasoning behind this or, like, what's going on. You don't have to read. None of this is essential. None of it. It's just Jason Aaron playing with the Suicide Squad tropes and kind of blatantly admitting they're copies of DC characters. And Nighthawk, or whatever his name is Batman. He's the Batman trope. So it's a Marvel version of Batman. Yeah, that's fine. Might rearrange these a little bit more. Yeah, let's go this. Okay. The Bounty Hunters, War of the Bounty Hunters, whatever the hell. Star Wars. Okay, again, I like Star Wars. I grew up watching it. It's one of the first movie I remember seeing in any kind of a theater situation. I've seen it repeatedly. I like Boba Fett mostly, although I wish they would have kept him all mysterious and like just kind of a one-liner thing. This Boba Fett is pretty talky, but he's a feared bounty hunter. But otherwise, there's nothing really that makes him stand out as a character. He's a feared bounty hunter, as opposed to every other feared bounty hunter and a feared bounty hunter. This is the story of what it's going to take from Boba Fett to get Han Solo and Carbonite to Jabba the Hutt. And so you know the beginning, you know the end. And these stories are tricky to pull off because like you have to make the middle real damn interesting when everything else is set in stone. And this isn't quite there yet. It's competent writing, it's competent art. The cover is fantastic. And, it's just, it turns out stuff happens along the way. It's an untold story of why everybody wants Han Solo's Carbonite and, what Boba Fett's going to do to get it back. And it really is going to have to, like, step up things and get a whole lot more funky if it wants to catch my interest. I'm going to keep reading it. I'm a sucker for Star Wars. I can't help it. So, all right. We're getting to the actually pretty good section of the things now. And there's a lot of them this week, which is nice. And this is Crushlobo number one, and I like this more than I thought I would. I've watched a couple other reviewers; they didn't really care for it as much as I did. It's written by Tamaki. I can't remember her first name or their first name. I'm not sure which pronouns they use, but and the art is now Lupin. I'm not gonna. It's all taped up, and I'm too lazy. But the cover's cool. Crush is Lobo's daughter, and I don't know the backstory. I've not really been following the character. It's just told from Crush's perspective mostly. There's a lot of internal monologue and stuff, and a lot of like self-doubt and overcompensating and drama made. Kind of reminds me of Jessica Jones a little bit, that kind of character, but Lobo's daughter. And she's in a relationship with a woman, and that's going sour, and she just quit the Teen Titans, and so everything is up in arms and kind of crazy, and her dad's in space jail. None of this is really a spoiler. It's all in the description of the comic, of the monthly issue stuff, but it's an interesting enough tale, and I liked it. It's an enjoyable take. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I'm looking forward to learning more about the Crush character, and I think it might be a kind of a fun addition to the DC universe. I mean, I know she's been around a little bit, but I don't think they've done a whole lot with her. I could be wrong. If I am, leave me comments. I'm kind of new to the DC thing. I've been reading a lot. So, all right. Basilisk, number one. Colin Bunn and Jonas Scharf. This is a sort of a superhero-y or superpowery mystery book. And this person is a basilisk? I don't know. Maybe. Something happened a couple years ago, and some of these people all got powers. That's all you kind of get to learn in this first book. And for some reason, they're not all together anymore, and people are chasing. That's it. I didn't mean to spoil the whole plot, but there's just not a lot of plot to spoil, and that's kind of it. I love the cover. Again, I think it's gorgeous. I like these painted covers, even the symmetry, which is kind of dull sometimes. There's barely enough here to keep me hooked. I wish there's a little more in this issue. It's competent, and there is enough intrigue where I want to find out why everybody's chasing this person, why they're on the run, why everyone else is mad at them, all these things I want to find out. But I just wish there's just a little bit more going on in chapter one of this. So I don't know if it's ongoing. I'm guessing it probably is, but I could be wrong. I didn't do a whole lot of research, so. It's on the list, and I'll pick up issue number two. But if issue number two doesn't grab me, it's going to be done. It kind of reminds me of like Radiant Black issue number one. Like issue number one didn't really hold me, but issue number two got better, and I'm hoping that'll be the case with Basilisk. It's good. It's just not great. Right. Bliss number 8. This is the last issue of this, and if you're going to read it, I recommend getting it all in one volume or as a trade. This is a solid ending that wraps things up to most of the story that took place in the first 3 or 4 issues of this. It went off this miniseries went off the rails somewhere in there. I mean, it was always a little bit off the rails, but it really did in the middle. And like, it doesn't really address some of that in here. And like, I really feel like I'm missing a chunk, but I know I'm not. I've been keeping up with this one. And like, it just sort of seems to like, oh, well, we're not doing any of that crazy crap anymore. Now we're just going to resolve the main story and let you know what happened and have a satisfying ending to that part. And I don't know, we'll forget all about the talking turtle gods and all that kind of crap because who cares? So the art is still great by Caitlin Yarsky. The story, and it's a solid ending, and it's a poignant ending by Sean Lewis. I actually enjoyed. There's an afterword in here that I think is written by Sean Lewis and still mostly about Sean's upbringing. That I really liked. I like that actually better than the wrapping up of this tale. But it's a nice wrap up, and it will satisfy you. I think if you've read it, if you're one of the other like 3 people on the planet still reading Bliss, so. If not, it's probably worth a trade paperback pickup. Hellions number 12. I don't know, there's some Hellfire gala going on or some crap. It's Marvel's summer thing that I don't care about. They have lots of summer things I don't care about, but this is their X-Men related summer thing I don't care about. And right as far as I know, I'm not picking up all the books because again, I'm not getting sucked into the gala FOMO. It's a big party, and apparently something's going to happen at this big party that's going to change everything. But half the Hellions are not invited to this party because they're all kind of misfits and douchebags, so they don't really get invited. So they crash it, get drunk, and hilarity ensues. It's an entertaining issue. It's a fun romp, and it's kind of like, I think, some ways poking fun at the event itself, which I dig. Mr. Sinister, the way Zeb Wells writes Mr. Sinister is just great. He's just kind of overconfident, like involved twat, and he's a fantastic at it. Nanny gets drunk. Everyone else picks fights and stuff, and it's a disaster for the gala. It probably won't be addressed at all anywhere else. But if you want a lighthearted take on it, Hellions is the way to go. It's one of the better X books out there, I think. Well, of the 2 or 3 I'm reading, it's one of the better ones. Suicide Squad number 4. Remember when I said like superhero books had to get somewhere and do something and like be kind of bold and bombastic? That's what this is. It is not fantastic. It's over the top. It's ridiculous. It's, the characterization, like some of the characters are just kind of like, oh, okay, that's really, but that's what you want in this kind of book. Like Waller is great, Amanda Waller. She's like the head of the Suicide Squad and has the trigger literally button. Red X is actually finally becoming a little bit interesting. I don't really still care about him. Him, her, they. Who knows? Who knows who's under the mask? They still Peacekeeper is just an over the top like gung ho Law and Order Commando like to the extreme, and it is. I've been pleasantly surprised by this from issue 1. We're on issue 4 now. It ties into the Teen Academy book a little bit, but you don't really need to read the Teen Titans Academy. You don't need to read the Teen Titans Academy to know what's going on with this one. This is the better book of the 2 anyways. So, yeah, I like Suicide Squad. I think it's a pretty solid, fun romp. And sometimes that's what you want. And especially like out of hero books, you want like fun romps, or you want like action, you want excitement, there's not a lot of lasting consequences. Although with the Suicide Squad, you could get your head blown off, so that's a little bit more lasting than, say, the Batman, where nothing's going to happen. Oh, and now, for another book I really liked, but that dials it way down, weirdly enough, is Firepower number 12. This is the end of the first year, the first big arc, the first grand story. It's 12 issue. It's the 12th issue. It is an extra size issue for $5. The big fight kind of wraps up in this, and then it's kind of a quiet aftermath for the rest of this, which is unexpected because like up until then it's been pretty action packed. But it's like this book actually, you need the breather, I think, at this point in it, and it does resolve for a lot of what's going on thus far. But it's like Kirkman books, so like alliances are going to change. It's all going to shift. And you're not. It's still ongoing, and you're not done for. Sam Lee's art is still great as always. I know some people don't love his simplistic style, but I think it's very effective, and I think he does a great job with the action sequences and with the characterization and the emotions. He's got this mastery of the line work and the brush work and the inking that it all, like, you don't need a ton of extra detail when you can capture it simplistically. And I think, honestly, in a lot of ways, capturing the simplicity, capturing emotions and capturing action and stuff without having all the extra line work, I think it, in a lot of ways, is harder. Like, just to use the next... No, I'm not going to use the next book as an example. We'll talk about that when we get there. But, yeah, Firepower. Been pretty decent from issue... Always been beyond decent from issue 1. It's been a great read from issue 1 to 12. So, still great. Speaking of great from the first, Swamp Thing by Ram V and Sean Perkins, and this is the other end of the art spectrum. Lots of heavily detailed stuff, but it kind of fits in with the Swamp Thing mythos. Like, the Swamp Thing and Bernie Wrightson, and it's always been like lots of heavy line work and lots of intricate like black and white shadows and stuff. And this book probably would look great in black and white. And you can tell that Ram V is well steeped in the history of the Swamp Thing. They bring back like older characters. There's some interesting stuff with like what exactly is the Green is, and the new Swamp Thing. Levi is trying to come to his own, and there's still a little bit. There's a bit of the horror element and like the concept and the the duties that come with like serving the Green and all that. And it's only 10 issues, but I'm really hoping this one keeps going further. It's one of DC's better titles, and DC honestly has been doing pretty great recently. So that's saying actually something. A while back, it probably wasn't saying all that much, but yeah, Swamp Thing number 4. I really liked it. And probably as a surprise to nobody that's getting comics this week. And I know this is on the top book on other people's lists, and I really didn't want it to be. I was like, I should do something different, right? I should blaze my own trail, cut my own swath, or sail my own jib, or whatever those phrases. Phrases are hard, people. Yeah, but we have The Nice House on the Lake, number 1. This is the B cover, by Simmons. And... this is written by Tynan, who also wrote Batman. he's much better at horror and stuff than he is at Batman, or he's or he's having more free reign. It's also a DC. It's a Black Label. I don't want to spoil this. I don't want to there's a big reveal at the end, obviously, because that's what you do in a horror book. You have a big reveal at the end, and everything changes. And it's not treading crazy new ground. It's really not, but it is competently telling a horror tale, and it's very deftly organized and set up, and there's this palpable sense throughout this issue that something is going to happen that's going to go wrong, and then when it does, at least for me, it was an unexpected direction. It wasn't you expect one thing and then Tynan pulls the rug out from under you in a different way, still a creepy way, still a horrific way, and you can probably name the some of the sci-fi and horror influences it wears on its sleeve pretty easily. But if I were to start naming them, you might kind of get the hint of the plot, and I really don't want to do that because I think it is a fun enough reveal that it is my book of the week, and I'm sure it's other people's book of the week as well. So yeah, there we have it. Good week for the most part, really. There's a couple stinkers in there, but even those were better than some of the other weeks. I didn't hate North Face; it just wasn't special enough, and then I didn't. Same with the worst dudes and Out of Body. Out of Body is in any other week would probably be about 3/4 of the way down the list, but this is just a pretty strong week for comics. So, whoopsie. I mean, good. Yay, yeah, comics, good. All right, that's all I've got, folks. Yeah. Don't be a dick in a really nice house or something. Don't whip your... Never mind. Then we're not going to go there. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.